Type of security system will soon be in place at every Green Bay area public school.
School board voted tonight 6-1 to spend $1.8 million over 5 years with a company called Centegix. However, that company has faced scrutiny elsewhere. Jason Zimmerman has been looking into the details of this contract. He's live in the studio now with the details. Jason.
Bill, the biggest concern at tonight's meeting centered on the cost of this system beyond the initial 5-year contract. If the district does decide to extend, Centegix would receive a recurring fee each year, more than $325,000. The system works by providing visual cues during an emergency using strobe lighting in different colors for different types of incidents. Staff would also have badges that are able to sound the alarm or lock down a school. This would also be for a medical emergency or simply a teacher needing assistance.
They are wirelessly installed, which allows us to get them in places where normally we can't get things, like gymnasiums, bathrooms. When there's a crisis within the building, we frequently rely on the PA to make an announcement. If you're in a gym class, you can't hear it. If you're in band class, you can't hear it.
We should point out that Centegix was the subject of a federal lawsuit filed by a school district in North Carolina, which bought the same system that's being installed here. That district claimed that the system did not work properly. The lawsuit was settled in 2020. Green Bay district officials say they are convinced in checking references it was an isolated incident.
We got information that they have a 98% renewal rate. So at the end of the day, after talking to people, we determined that they had those troubles behind them.
The process to install the security system will begin this spring with the hope of having it ready to go later this fall. Bill and Cammie, back to you.